Good morning. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan, and welcome to How to Find Your First Client Without Any Marketing. Very excited to be with you here this morning. And what a fantastic conversation this is going to be, because you're going to learn some great insight about how you function as a human being and how you are naturally a marketer about the product and service you have. You just don't know it yet. I got to tell you, from the very beginning, when I started, in the very, very, very beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. And because I was passionate, or what they say, ignorance on fire, I was ignorance on fire. I just wanted to help people. I just want to make a difference. And I want to find out how many of you feel like you are brand new at what you're doing and it feels a little confusing. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, you want to get started on something, but it feels so brand new and you're not quite sure how to find people. Where's the clients? What do you do? Do you ever feel like that? Make a comment in the chat box here. I got Marcy saying yes. Teresa, I'm hearing you, because I tell you what, when I first started, I felt a prompting. I'm just going to call it out. I felt a prompting that I should go and serve people and help people in a big way. And I had no idea how this was even going to look. How is this supposed to come together? How is this really supposed to happen? I don't know how to market. I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to put content together. I don't know how to coach. I don't know how to present. I don't know how to do this. And I totally felt like a fish out of water, like I was in the wrong zone, the wrong area. Now, that's Kirk Duncan, right? That's me. And I realized, man, I got a lot to learn. But where do you start? Like, what's the most important thing to do? Well, sooner or later, it gets to the point where you need to talk to somebody. You got to have somebody to work with. There's got to be somebody for you to share your product or service with. And so that means that person is a client. That's the person who's going to be the receiver of your product or service or your content. And how do you find that person? Well, today we're going to talk about that, and in a much more natural way. And natural, I'm going to tell you, is actually faster than anything I've ever seen. You can cruise the internet and there's all kinds of ads about people who are going to teach you how to market. But I will tell you right now, you will spend a lot of money on learning how to market what you have, and you still will have issues because there's an internal situation going on. There's an internal problem going on when it comes to marketing. For example, let me just show you. I'm just going to build this right here in front of you. So this is what happens. What happens is, I'm just going to pull a slide together really quick in front of you. Here's you, and here's the person that could be your client. Boom, here's you and your client, or possible client. Let me just put a question mark next to this person. And there is this experience that goes on between you and this other person. And between you and this other person, there is a connection or not. Everything in this world has to do with connection. And without a connection, if there is no connection, then this other person leaves. That's just how it works. If there's not a connection here, they drift away. And let me just remove these words right here. Let me just talk about the human part just for a moment. And I got to tell you right off from the very beginning, because I've been building my business for the last 16 years, right? And I've been coaching and training for 16 years. So I figured something out. If I've been doing this for 16 years, I'm not like still trying to be a brand new person. No, I figured some things out. But in the beginning, I had to like dig down to like the basic elements of like, what does it take to be able to talk to a person, meet a person, create a connection with a person that's meaningful so they would be interested in my product or service. And what causes that interest for them to be interested in me? This is me. I'm just going to change that now. Me, and this is them. And for them to have a connection to me, there has to be something that we connect on. It's the connection factor. And I'm just gonna give it that name right here, right in front of you. Whoops. And you can spell too, the connection factor. Now, not every human being is built with the ability of having great connection factor. So this is something that's got to be learned and practiced so that you can have a connection with people. If you don't have a connection factor between you and them, then it doesn't matter how much you spend on marketing. Because if they were to, find you through a marketing ad, they're still not going to feel a connection to you. I mean, seriously, you look at this and you go, wait a second, let me just do this. Okay, so you put out an ad, and then what happens? Okay, then after they have an ad, they might buy what you have to offer. And now that they buy what you have to offer, now they engage with you. And then after they engage with you, what happens is then they have this experience of connection or not connection. So it's either going to be on or off. And so what happens is if you don't have a connection factor before you do any marketing, they're going to buy what you have. Sure, you'll get the sale, but they're going to be off, meaning they're not going to like what they bought from you. Yeah, maybe you got one sale from them, but they're not going to promote you. They're not going to talk about you. They're not going to like tell their friends about you because they don't like what they got. Because whatever you have with the product or service you have to offer them, they don't feel like they're connected to you. They don't feel like you're a real person, a real human being. And so that's the thing that is very interesting about this is people are trying to buy their way into this connection factor instead of finding out what's wrong inside you about you and other people. See, that's the thing is the reason why you're going to struggle connecting or finding your first client is because you don't like people. You have issues with people. You struggle with people. And I know you did not want this first thing this morning to be like, wait a minute, I just woke up. Kirk, don't throw problems at me. And I'm not going to throw the problem at you, but I do know why you're going to struggle with that first client. And it has to do with your connection factor. And your connection factor, if it is up, if it is high, if it really is on the higher end of the scale, what happens then is you're going to have more people to work with. And that just makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense that if your connection factor is on the higher end of the scale, well, then the more people you're going to work with. And then if it's on the lower end of the scale and it's down here, well, then what happens is you're not going to have very many people to work with, no matter how you market, no matter how you're going to do this. So in the very beginning for me, what happened to me was I did not know what to do to be able to improve this whole experience of finding a client. And I had to dig down deep inside me. And I found this connection factor. And every time I was low on my connection factor, well, then the numbers of people that I was going to work with were low. And if I had good connection factor, well, then my numbers of working with people would go up. So go ahead, spend your money trying to learn how to market, spend your money on having somebody else market for you. But then when they meet you, they buy it and they engage with you, they might not be totally on with you. And then they don't promote you. And that's not cool. I mean, seriously, if you're going to do something, do it good, right? Do it well so that they actually refer you to other people. They refer your product and service to other people because of the great experience that they had with you. So to me, I really believe in the beginning was the connection factor. And since then, there's a bunch of dazzling ways to market. And then people are buying all these dazzling ways to market, but then they meet you. And if you don't have the connection factor, if you're not real and you don't really connect with them, they're gone. And you just missed out on a lot of referrals. You just missed out. Now, I don't know if that matters to you, but it matters to me because when I started, I had plenty of experiences where I went and attempted to do a class, and this right here is what happened. Like nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. And I know you're saying, but Kirk, I'm looking for my first client. Yeah, I was too. And when I say I was too, what that means is I was trying to hold a class and I'd set up all the chairs and I'd get all my material put together and then nobody would show up. And you know what people told me? Oh, you got to learn how to market. I said, I don't know how to market and I don't have money for marketing. I don't know how to market and I don't have money for marketing. And they said, oh, you should go in debt for marketing. It'll pay you back. And I was like, I don't want to risk that. And so I had to figure something else out. How do I make this work? How do I make this work? And so I didn't know how to make this work. So I had to sit here and think. And I think that's a problem with people today is they don't think about what they need to improve about themselves. They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about what can they buy to fix what they've got going on. and it's like, what? You think you can buy something to fix this? No, this whole thing going on inside of you right here, this whole thing, this has to do with your ability to connect with other people. This is why finding your next client is more natural than you thought, is because nobody sat you down and went, hey, what's up with your connection factor? How come you can't connect to people? How come people don't want to talk to you? How come people won't want to listen to you? What's up with you? So I'm going to talk to you about this, about what you can do to be able to, seriously, to be able to find your next client without marketing. And not just once, but we're talking about over and over and over again, because this is what I went through. I made a ton of mistakes along the way. It was really difficult and I didn't know how to make this work, but I didn't have the money and I didn't have the savvy of doing it the fancy way and have the luxury of having money pumped into ads and all kinds of stuff like that. And social media, are you kidding? There's no way I was going to get on social media. There was no way. Social media gave me anxiety. I didn't want to post a post every day. People say, oh, get on social media and post something every day. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't like social media. I don't want to do that. So how did I do this? How did I make this work? Well, you're probably wondering, okay, well, how did this turn out for you? If you didn't do it like what they're saying you're supposed to do, how'd you do this? Well, first off, I got to point out here that, on this screen, I'm saying $20,000 a month, but I got to tell you, you're not going to make $20,000 in a month because it takes a lot of dedication and hard work beyond what you have ever experienced in your life, and you have to stick with it. But I want to tell you that the reason why I started to get into this is because I wanted to find money for my groceries. I want to just feed my family. And I along the way, I started to believe that maybe I could be a millionaire. Maybe I could have $1 million. How cool would that be? Start my own business and generate $1 million or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's like, how do you do this? And so for the last 16 years, I've been able to generate over $1 million every year with a program that I created. Programs that I've created. And so I've been doing this for 16 years. I know how to generate $1 million in a year. I know how to do this. And I don't get on social media. I'm not a chitter chatter on social media. I'm not a fancy Facebook ad person. I don't do all that stuff. I just don't. I have to use my mind. I have to use that. I have to engage with my natural abilities because that I can count on. That I know works because it worked in the beginning. It's going to work again. And today I'm going to teach you how to do this so you can fine tune who you are, what you're doing, so you can get that first client and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth. And you can keep going for 16 years. And you can generate $1 million doing what you love. Doing what you love. But we got to be straight here. With great influence comes great responsibility. And so I'm going to teach you some things today that you could turn into an evil person and take advantage of people. But I'm going to highly suggest to you, you don't do that. Don't take advantage of people. I mean, respect others and show up 100%, right? Tell me if you agree with that. Do you agree with that? Don't you think that we if we're going to learn how to do this and we're going to be able to find the first client, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the 100, the 200, the 500, the 1,000 clients, that means we've got to respect people at 100% and deliver great experiences for people. And we're not going to be out there, ripping people off. That's not what we're doing. We're not here to rip people off and just get their money. If that's who you are, well, get off the webinar. Right? Get off the webinar. Just get out of here. Get off the webinar. Okay. My goal is to show you the right steps to take to find your first client. And this is down to the root level of how this works. And I'm going to save you time and frustration. I got to add that. I was thinking about this last night. I go, what was the emotion and frustration of trying to market? And how can you earn money doing what you love? I mean, seriously, let's get into this. But I got to just say this before we jump into this. If you stay to the end, you could be the lucky winner of a personal mentoring appointment with me. Yep. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to be giving away a personal mentoring appointment with me so I can help you with whatever you're doing, whatever business, whatever entrepreneurship, whatever you got going on in your life. If you've ever wished you could have a coach or a mentor in your life, at the end of this webinar, I'm going to be giving an appointment away. Free, no strings attached, nothing. No sales pitch at the end, nothing. Seriously, it's a complete gift because somebody on here, I just want to jump in and just help you with your life and help you with where you're going. Because boy, when you get that kind of support, you can do amazing things. So at the end, I'm going to be looking through the names who are here. And I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to pick somebody and boom, you got yourself a mentoring appointment with me. So at the end, I'm going to be doing that. So that could be you, right? Well, and you got to tell me, put a little note on here. Do you want that to be you? Put a little note because I'm going to come back to this and go, okay, who wants the appointment? And then I'm going to scan through those people. So in the chat box, say something. You got to have your name show up. You got to be on the list. So if you're sitting there going, well, I want an appointment, get in the chat box and say, hey, I want one. Get in there. And I will come back to this spot because I can scroll and I can scroll right back to this moment and go, okay, boom, you're it. And then we'll schedule it and it'll happen here within the next 10 days. And we'll jump on a call and I'm here to help you move up and up level to that next level, right? I think that'd just be fantastic because I love figuring out how to move forward and how to produce results. Oh, I got to tell you, I love producing results that I've never produced before in my entire life. Now, where this all comes from, my beautiful wife, Kimberly, she is a sweetheart. Oh, she's so gorgeous. I just can't stand it. She's so gorgeous. Every day, it's just like, oh my goodness, I am the luckiest guy in the whole entire world. She is so gorgeous. Both her and I have had the chance over the last 16 years to teach live seminars. 16 years of teaching live seminars. Not just one or two. No, multiple day seminars. We were teaching anywhere between 17 3-day. Now listen to this. 17 2 to 3 day seminars, up to 25 3-day seminars, 2 to 3 day seminars every single year. You think about that and you go, wait a minute, that's more than one a month. Oh, we're in it. We're not that kind of business where it's like once a year, like some kind of big summit, and then next year we do another one. Are you kidding? We were doing 1, 2, and sometimes 3 of these live seminars every single month. We were in it, totally in it. And I got to tell you, I got to bounce back to this screenshot. You see the top there where there's nobody there? And you see the bottom where it's like the room's packed? That is so fun. I love doing group trainings because it's really what it is. It's group mentoring. Yeah, it's a seminar, it's a workshop, but you know what? I'm mentoring everybody in there. I'm coaching everybody in there. It's so fun. It's like the coolest thing ever, ever, ever. And then, of course, you start doing that, and then the TV station wants you on TV, and they're like, hey, come on TV and tell us what you're doing. And so what's been fun is we've been able to be on TV more than 100 times. Cool part is to bring people into our home and be able to say, hey, this is how it works. We figured it out because we broke free. We're different. We've made a progress. And this is what we did. And the people are like, what? That's what you did? I can do that. And it's like, I know. And like, wait a minute. That's what you do? Yeah, that's what you do. And so we're sharing with people, and we're going on our 17th year. We're going on our 17th year empowering people to bust loose of their old mindset and their old belief patterns so they can live their life purpose. I mean, it's just a kick. And I got to tell you, when you start teaching people, this is what happens. Your brain just like lights up. I don't know what you know about intelligence and light, but intelligence is in the air. And man, when you tune into it, just the wisdom and the smart starts flowing to you. Yeah, you can learn from books. You can learn from people. But you also can learn from source. And that's called inspiration. And then you can build super cool classes and coach people at a higher level. That is a kick. Oh, it's a kick. Oh, it's awesome. And then this is you. I mean, we might as well just take this picture off and we could go, hey, now we can put your picture on here with your business name. And we can go, yeah, now you've learned how to market naturally, because you got your head dialed in and you've connected with people, and now you can do such great work. And this could be the exact same screenshot you show on your webinar in the future. Is like, oh yeah, look at me, look what I'm doing. This is what we've been able to accomplish because of the number of people that have given referrals. Okay, wait, watch this. You see this picture right here? You see that picture? When I was standing on stage, I asked the audience, how many? Now, there's 1,000 people in the room. Okay, and I'm doing this every month, 1,000 people, right? I asked the audience, how many of you are here because someone else told you about this class? And 90% of the audience would raise their hand. That's crazy. Oh, are you serious? That's so crazy. Did you just hear that? 90% showed up because somebody else told them about the class. It wasn't me, some kind of marketing genius. No, I connect to the people. I care about the people. I care about the people. I love the people. You got to love the people. Love them. Help them. Work with them. Help them. 90%. You know what that means? I didn't go find those people. people loved what happened in the class so they went out and told people about the class, and they told them about me. And so then the people show up because of referrals. I don't know about you, but that's the way. And how did that happen? Let's go back to this screenshot. The connection factor. Where is yours? Is yours down here low, or is yours up here high? Oh, well, you know how you can tell? How many clients do you have? How many people come looking for what you have? How's it working for you? Do you have this happening where people won't call you back? Maybe you're pushing people away. Not maybe, you're pushing people away. Maybe you just have a weird sound in your voice. Maybe you sound desperate. Maybe you're hungry for money and they can tell you're only doing this for the money. But then when you love the people, they help you spread the word because you're doing good things. See, that's connection factor. See, I think step one is love the people. Love the people. I think there ought to be just one step. Love the people, right? But I got to tell you, this, I'm a normal Joe, right? I'm a normal guy who didn't know what to do. So I had to figure out and dig in and go, what matters? What on this earth matters the most? You want to know what matters? Go talk to a wife in a marriage and ask her what matters the most to her. And she's going to say the connection she has with her husband. You ask a mom what matters the most to her and her kids, and she's going to say the connection she has with her kids. And it's like, wait a second. If that's what's the most important part inside of a marriage and inside a family, why would that not be the same thing with the world? Aren't we one big family in the world? Aren't we one big family? Yeah, we are. We are. So it's like, whoa, let's get down to the root level here of what really matters. And it's your ability to connect to people. Go ahead, spend money on marketing and watch it not work. And when it doesn't work, remember this day that I told you this. You have to look inside you and your connection factor with them. You know what people do when they pay for marketing and they do this stuff? You know what they do when it doesn't work? Guess who they blame? The marketing. They always say, oh, it's the marketing's not working. We got to change the marketing. We got to change the website. We got to change the business card. We got to change the color. We got to change the font. And they think it's the marketing. And when I get involved, it's like, no, it's you. I'm like, no, it can't be me. That has no factor at all. And it's like, are you kidding? This is everything. Between you and them, it's you. I don't care what product and service you're offering. You need to get straight how you are with people. And if you don't like people, man, you're going to have problems. Oh, Kirk, you can sell stuff and not like people. Yeah, and then you're going to sleep okay at night? You're going to sleep okay at night? Remember this right here? Respect others and show up 100%. Sure, there's all kinds of ways to get people's money. But if you're human, and you really care, you're going to do it the right way with integrity. Now, tell me if you care about integrity. I know you do, but you just got to tell me. Just give me a signal in the chat box. Yeah, I want to have integrity with people because it messes with my heart if I'm out of integrity with people. If it's not good, if it's not 100%, it messes with me. I can't sleep at night. And maybe I'm overly sensitive and I don't care what people say. It's integrity to me matters because when we all die, we're all going to heaven. I hope you make it to heaven. If you don't make it to heaven and you end up going to hell, it's okay. We'll come find you. We'll come down there. We'll come find you. And then we'll duct tape you and we'll drag you up there to heaven and we'll just lay you on the grass until you adapt. But when we all die and we go to heaven, what do we got left? It's just us. I don't see anybody taking their car with them when they die. I don't see anybody taking their money with them when they die. And then when we die, we all get stripped of all this stuff. And then we're going to be looking at each other going, oh, so how did you treat me? How did you treat me on earth? How did I treat you on earth? And that's when we're going to have that huge recollection of the way in which we treated each other. So I believe and I practice the fact that I need to work on my connection factor more than anything else. My connection factor. Your marketing is going to be a mess, and your attempt to enroll or sell or offer your product or service or content is not going to go over well. Even after they buy it and they get to watch your video or read your book, they can tell, they can feel it if you're there or not. And if you're not, they don't refer it, they don't pass it along, and then your whole life purpose drops on the floor. It drops. It doesn't get handed around. It doesn't get passed around. I don't know about you, but that would bother me. So I don't want that to happen. To me, it's the connection factor, right? Okay, so let's go through this. Let's go through the punch list here and making this work. So I was talking about, where you can go with this and what you can do and the success stories you're going to cause in people's lives because you're so connected to them and you care about them at such a deep level, and that your mind and your soul are so connected to them, and they feel it. Now, I've gone through burning up the time and making a lot of mistakes. So today, from learning from me today, you're going to avoid a lot of mistakes. You will. You'll avoid a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to save you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of time. And in my trying to figure this out, there were so many times I wanted to quit. Oh man, that was terrible. I'm just like, I hate this because I did not want it to be about me. I did not. I wanted it to be about the ad, the marketing piece, the email. I wanted it to be about that because I did not want it to look at me, because if it was me, I had to change. I didn't want to change. I just wanted to stay the same and be successful. Isn't that such an ignorant thought? That is so ignorant that I would have a thought like that. I just want to stay the same and have better results. Oh, it was so ignorant back then. Oh man, I was so ignorant that I would think that, but it's common. I'm not the only one who was fighting so hard to stay the same, but improve my results. Oh man. Okay. So, yep. Here we go. I'm going to save you. I'm going to say like 500-600 hours of struggle. I don't know what that's worth to you. But here we go. Okay. So let's get down to it. Okay. How many people are on the planet? I looked it up last night and it says 7,800,000,000 people on the planet. Whoa, that's a lot of people. Okay, but where's your client? Where's your first client? Now, come on, 7,800,000,000 people. You ought to be able to find one client. Just one, your first client. Because if you can find your first, you can find the second. And you can find the third and the 10th and the 20th and the 50th, the 100th and the 500, the 1,000, the 10,000. You can find them. But it's like, okay, why can't this work for you? What's up with you, right? What's up? So there's a lot of people on the planet. And guess what? You have the internet. So you can't say, oh, I just have people here in my little town. No, you have the internet. There's a lot of connection you have to the world. But if you're not connected to the people, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel like you are clear over here. Wait, I'm on the wrong screen. You're clear over here. You're clear over here in the corner. And these people are like over here because there's like little to no connection factor. And that's why you feel like it's so hard. The reason why you feel like it's so hard to market and find a person is because you are so distant. I hope you write that down. If it's difficult to find a client, it's because you are distant. Not because of them. No. They're all out there. There's all kinds of people who have all kinds of struggles and all kinds of problems. They're on the internet constantly looking for an answer. So that tells you all the people you rub shoulders with over this next week have a problem and they're looking for a solution. And they don't know that you have a solution because you don't talk about it and you're not connected to them and you don't open your mouth because you feel like you're not qualified and you feel like you're not smart enough and you feel like you don't have a certificate and you have all these reasons why your head is not going to allow you to have that connection factor and they're not going to find out. But people today, they have challenges, and the challenges that people have gone up over the last year and a half. And you and I both know that. So where are you? You don't think you're over here in the corner, but your results tell you that you're in the corner. You can tell me all you want, and then I'm going to look at your results. So if you ever want to understand what really is going on, you look at results. That's how you tell what's really going on. You look at results. And so I've met people, believe me, I've met people who are like, you know what? I'm doing good, Kirk. And I'm like, wait a minute. Tell me where you're at. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, tell me your results. And they're like, oh, well, here's my results. I go, okay, you're not doing good. No, I am. I'm doing good. Come on. You know how you try to make yourself better than you really are? You know how you do that? You've convinced yourself you're better than where you really are, because that's what you tell others. Oh yeah, I'm doing good, Kirk. I'm super connected to people. I got this. I'm super connected, but your results say you're not. That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to deal with. And it's called truth. It's hard to face the truth. Most don't want to. They want to go back to their fairy tale life that they make up, and they don't do anything to change, and then they're miserable, and then they struggle, and then they hate it, and then they quit. So results tell the story. Of course, you'll tell the story, but your results tell the story. So if you are looking for your first client and you still don't have your first client, or maybe you're looking for your second client, maybe you're still, in that $100 to $500 range of your business that you're making per month, $100 to $500. Well, that's telling you that something's wrong with your connection factor. Oh, but Kirk, that's all I want. No, you want more, because you think about it all the time. And it's not greedy to think about more, because if you had more money, you know what you could do with that? You could buy groceries. You could pay off your bills. You could get out of debt. You could help your friend. You could help your neighbor. You could help so many people with money. There's so many good things you can do with money. So don't give me a money story saying, oh, I'm fine. It's like, no, you're not. You wish you could do better, but you can't. And because you can't, then you make up a really good story why you're not. Oh, I've been around the block plenty of times coaching people to understand what the excuses are in the world and how people convince themselves of their issues. So let me just tell you this. Yes, you have a connection factor issue. We need to get you close. close and connected with people. That's the plan of our conversation right here and right now. So I've gone through a bunch of stuff, and I'm here to help you so we can help you find your one out of these 7 billion. Kirk, you can't count everybody. I'm like, oh, come on. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Open your mind to the possibilities. You could be sharing your product, service, or content with people in other countries. Yes, that can happen to you. Okay, so here's your client. This is your client. This is what they look like. They're right here. Look at them. They're human beings. They're all over the place. There's people everywhere who are looking for a product, a service, or information. A product, a service, or information. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for every day. They need a product, a service, or information to help them on their travels. Wow, go look up on the internet something and see how many people are searching for that. It's like, oh my goodness, they're out there looking. But where are you, right? Where's the connection factor? Okay, so there's people out there. So we got to get through these 3 different steps. Number 1, define your client. Who do you really want to work with? Live intentionally. And then number 3, you got to engage with people to practice these particular skills. So let's talk about some psychology here that's going on with you and why there is a wall between you and other people. We need to take a look at this. So watch as I explain this to you, and you're going to find out quickly where you need to apply some attention to be able to move you forward to have a better attraction factor. Is it okay with you if I expose you? Is it okay? I know that sounds terrible. That sounds totally terrible. But is it okay if I expose you? I know that sounds you get what I'm talking about. It's just like I'm gonna open you up, put you on the table, and you're gonna see yourself and go, oh man, I do that. I totally do that. So as a coach, it's important that I don't hold back and, just kind of be gentle here. I need to poke at some things about what you're doing, what you're not doing. So you go, oh, wow, I should do something about that. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so to you, let's look at you for a moment. Okay, inside you, there's these different parts that run you. There's what you think about, there's what you feel, and then there's what you do. What you actually choose to do, and then what you end up doing. So thinking, feeling, doing. Those are 3 things you deal with every day. Thinking, feeling, and doing. Now, if you can coordinate those 3, you'll be successful. If you can't coordinate those 3, you're going to have a lot of problems. Coordinated, uncoordinated. What do you want to be? Coordinated or uncoordinated? It starts on the inside. Every day you deal with thinking. Every day you deal with feeling. Every day you deal with what you are doing, what you did or didn't do. Those are the 3 things you keep cycling through every single day. I don't know if you realize that, but it's the same thing every single day. So it makes sense that you would want to start to figure these 3 out. Like start to figure them out and actually use them to connect to people instead of let these be haphazard. Now, the common person does not even think about this. The common person goes, I got to get up and go to work. And then after I go to work, they give me a paycheck. And then after they give me a paycheck, I pay my house payment, I buy groceries, I pay my bills. And if I have any left over, I can go to the movie. Or I can go buy a new rug, or I can do something different. And so what happens is most people don't think about this process. And I'm going to open up your mind here a little bit of what you need to look at to be able to create the connection factor with other people. Because if these three on the inside are out of alignment, then you are going to have a low connection factor. If any of these three are out of alignment, you're going to have a low connection factor because you're going to be clumsy on the inside, and that will cause you to drift away from people because you feel clumsy on the inside. And so that's one of the reasons why you drift away from people is you feel clumsy, you feel uncoordinated, you feel weak, you feel disorganized, you feel chaotic, and you'll drift away from people because on the inside you feel this way. And because you feel this way, you won't want to be around people. Okay, so just FYI and raising your awareness about how you function on the inside. You got thinking, feeling, and doing. And sometime soon, you ought to get some education about how to align those three. And if you need education about that, I'm your man. I'm your guy. I can teach you about this, get you in alignment so your attraction factor can go up. Okay, now what you think and what you feel doesn't stay inside your skin. It radiates or transmits from you, kind of like you have an antenna on top of your head. It's not really, but you don't really have an antenna, but it's just like that. But what you think doesn't stay in your head. That's what people think. People think, oh, whatever I think stays in my skull. It's like, no, no, you have been deceived for a long time. No. And what you feel doesn't stay under your skin. Oh, you can walk into a room and you can feel the mood the person's having. So feelings come out of the skin. Thoughts come out of the head. And guess who picks up on them? Guess who picks up on your thoughts and your feelings? Better believe it. This possible client. Exactly. What? That's not fair, Kirk. I just want to hide my issues in my skull. You can't. You can't. You can't hide your issues. Do you really think that? Do you still think you can hide your issues under your skin? No, you need to step it up a little bit here and catch up. You can't hide that stuff. Nobody can hide their issues. They always show up. Shows up in what you think, it shows up in how you feel, and it shows up in what you do. You can't hide your issues. But a bunch of people on this planet are walking around acting like nobody knows, nobody knows. But we all know. We can tell if you have issues or not. All we have to do is look at your results. All we have to do is look at your behavior. Because your behavior is a connection of what you think and feel. So you can't hide. So so that's good to know. Maybe now you won't go outside. I don't know. I hope I don't mess you up. But you need to know this if you're trying to find your first client. This is your first client. Your first client, there's 7 billion people on the planet. The reason why you can't find your first client is because of the signal you're giving off. The signal. The signal. This right here. This signal could be saying to people, get away. It could. It could totally be saying, get away. Or it could be saying to the people, it could be saying, hey, let's connect. It could be saying either one of those. You probably don't even know which one it's doing. Most of my clients that I start to work with have never even thought of this before. They were focused on the email they're going to write. They're focused on how they're going to dazzle people with their social media post. That's what they thought. Oh, you just have to be dazzling with your social media post. You have to be dazzling with your email, and you have to be a amazing writer. No, no. Let me show you this right here. This right here, these audiences that I've been working with for years didn't show up because I was fancy. No, they didn't keep referring their friends because I was dazzling them with my fanciness. I still have to use spell checker. I still mispronounce words and sentences all of the time. I am grammatically flawed. I am, I don't know how to express things sometimes. I don't know how to say things. And so it's not because you're fancy that they choose you. They choose you because they feel you want to connect to them. Really. That's why they're going to choose you, because they can tell you're really in this. You really care. You're really in this. And so I don't, I don't know your results. I'm not talking to you personally, but you want to look at your results, and that will tell you if you have the green arrow factor or the red arrow. The red arrow is a push people away. It's a push. And so I'm going to write that right here. This is a push away. And this is a attract. Push away and attract. Oh, yeah. You're doing it all day long. It's happening all day long. And where does this come from? One or the other is coming from the way you think and the way you feel about yourself and about the other person. This is the attraction factor, right? This is the connection factor. And it starts inside your head. Starts inside your head. So when I teach people how to find their first client, we work on their head. We're not going to work on an email. We're not going to work on social media posts. Are you kidding? Because all that stuff is going to be flawed. It's going to be off. There's not going to be the love that needs to be in there. It's not going to be in there because the common person, the common person has issues with people. They're mad. They're hurt. They're upset at somebody. They're frustrated with somebody. I mean, listen to people. Listen to how frustrated people are. Listen to how put out people are. Do you think that's affecting their ability to find their first client? Yeah, it's ruining their business because they're getting all these feelings inside about people and about organizations, and it's going to kill their business. And they're going to think something else killed their business when it was them who killed their business because they let all that junk get in their head and twist up their thinking about people. And you could try to tell me that all day long that it's not true, but watch. If you really are an entrepreneur and you really are attempting to find clients, you get this. You understand the difference between the attraction and the push away. You know the difference. And I'm calling it out that it happens inside your head. And then it comes outside your head. And then as it comes outside your head, the people feel it. They can tell if you want to connect with them or not. Instantly. And you can try to be nice. You can try to dazzle them. But they can feel the truth. Because you can try to cover it up. You can try. You're going to fail again. And then your spouse is going to say, honey, how come you can't find your first client? And then you're going to blame your email system. You're going to blame your social media posts. You're going to blame whoever's controlling the social media. You're going to blame your coach. You're going to blame God. You're going to say, God's not helping me. Oh my goodness. When this doesn't work, this person turns into a blame monster. Terrible blame monster. Terrible. It's like out of control. It's like, really? Come on. Own it. But remember, I didn't want to own it either. I didn't want to own it. I wanted it to be somebody else's problem. Now I know you thought, I want to get on this webinar with Kirk this morning, and I want to get the easy secret because I just want it to be easy so I don't have to change. I know. That's what you wanted. I just want the easy. Just tell me what button to push that's magical, and everybody just flows to me. You're not going to get that from me. I'm going to talk to you about reality. And you know what people will do? They will not listen to me right now, and they will go back to looking for the easy way to do it. And they won't address what's going on inside of them. That's fine. Go ahead. Try. Go ahead. Watch how it happens. Watch how it flops. Watch how you're going to flop in front of your family and it's going to be embarrassing because you're going to work hard and things just flop. You're going to be embarrassed about your results. And then you're going to hide those results. And then you're going to excuse it and blame it away. Oh, I know this. I've been around the block enough times to know what's going to happen. So let's just get to the real thing that needs to happen here. Your head has no idea who you want to work with. It doesn't know. So it can't send the signal that says, hey, person, hey, come this way. Your brain's not wired to draw people in. That's the next issue, is the way that you're wired. Your brain doesn't know who you're looking for. There's no details. There's no facts. There's no description. There's no searching going on. There's no visualization. There's no help. And you just want your brain to all of a sudden just know how to find a client and market and get on social media and post a really neat little picture with a cool little saying and think that clients are just going to come zooming to you. No, the reason people are successful is because they have the attraction factor, the connection factor, because their head is literally wired and programmed to connect with people because the person did their homework in deciding who they want to work with. If your brain lacked information about who you want to work with, they can't find them. I'll say that again. Your brain, if it lacks information on what it's looking for, it can't find it. If you don't know what you're looking for, how are you supposed to find it? That I know that's like simple truth, right? That's like a duh factor. It's like, oh, wow, that makes sense. If you can't find your client, it's because your brain doesn't know what you're looking for. Did you know that your brain is where all your senses come together? Your sense of sight, hearing, smell, scent, the temperature, all those senses. All of those senses all connect to your brain, right? If your brain knew who you were looking for, then all of those senses would be used to find what you're looking for. You literally can turn your brain into a marketing tool, a searching tool to find the person who you want to work with. But the common entrepreneur doesn't tune their senses in on a particular client. They don't tune their brain in. They just go spend money on marketing thinking that that's somebody else is supposed to figure that out. And so then what happens is they're not tuned in. And then even when the person comes to them, they don't know how to interact with them because they're not connected to them. So when your brain doesn't know what it's looking for, it can't find it. And then if the client did show up, your brain's going to go, who's this? Who's this? And you're like, oh, this is my client. And they're like, wait a minute. No, that doesn't fit anything. No, that doesn't fit anything. No, let's get rid of them. let's like kind of slowly push them away. Seriously, if that client doesn't fit in your brain as somebody to have close to you, you will self-sabotage that experience with that client, and they won't get the best experience, and then they won't tell their friends. They won't tell their friends because it wasn't a pleasant experience, because your brain couldn't find a reason why this person's in your life. And then what happened is your brain went, you know what? I can't see why this person's here. Let's just kind of just do an okay job and then get rid of them as fast as possible. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs in that place right there. They find a client, but then they self-sabotage the results of that experience. And now that client doesn't send any referrals. So I'm gonna go back to this one more time. You see this audience? You see the audience, right? I didn't do that because I'm a marketing genius. This audience that showed up every month for years and years and years, and audiences are still showing up. The reason why the audience shows up is because of what I'm doing in my head, because of what's going on in my head. You've been convinced that somebody else should be in charge of your marketing, and that you've been convinced you don't have what it takes to do this. That's what you've been convinced of. Because why would they convince you that you have the power to turn your mind onto the people and find them? Why would people teach you that? Oh, because then they couldn't sell you their marketing. But they want to sell you their marketing, right? But they don't want you to know you could do it yourself. They don't want you to know that, because then they would lose you as a client. And it's okay to hire people who teach marketing. I'm not against marketing people at all. I'm not against them at all. But I am for you to like understand the root area of this. I love marketing people. I think it's important to invest in marketing people after you get your head straight. Because if you hire somebody to do your marketing and your head's not straight, you are going to push those clients away. And I've seen people do that. I've seen myself do that. The clients show up and then it just doesn't really work out, and the clients go away. I've seen really smart people spend a ton of money and they get a bunch of clients, and then, wow, where'd all your clients go? I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. It's just the market. It's like, it's not the market. It's your head. It's your brain was not tuned in to bringing that client in and wanting them. Your brain will only keep what you want. Your brain will only keep what you want. And if you don't want this client, then your brain will get rid of them. Slowly sabotage it. So I'm all for paying for marketing after you get your head straight. Get your head straight. And I'm going to show you what to do, how to do that. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Tell me if you're getting what I'm talking about. You getting what I'm talking about here? Because if we don't get your head online with a clear description of who you want to work with, then this sabotage is going to happen, and you will have wasted money and wasted time. And I've already done that. You don't need to do that. So we need to program your mind of who you're looking for and why you want them. Who, why, and what's the want? Or you're going to mess it up. So again, I want to make sure I'm not losing friends out there, because it's like, I'm all for marketing, but it's a head game. Everything in this life is a head game. It all starts inside your head. Write that down, stick it on your mirror. Everything in this life is a head game. You want something to improve? Get in your head first. Get in there. If you don't know how to get in your head, then hire me as your coach. I'll help you get in your head, or hire a coach somewhere so you can get some work done in your head to get in alignment. So then all your efforts will pay off. Because if your head is a mess and you put effort into it, your results are going to be a mess. But if your head is in order, then your efforts will produce results that are in order. It's a head game. It's all a head game. Everything's a head game. It's all a head game. Marriage is a head game. Business is a head game. Success is a head game. Confidence is a head game. It's all a head game. It's all in your head. It's all there. But it's like, what do you do, right? Okay, I hope you're getting this, because the whole idea here is that there's not a wall. We can remove this wall. It's like, no, there's not a wall. They come to you because it's like, oh, they want to work with you because you want them. And we can remove the X. We can take that off and go, okay, that's not going to happen. And then there's this connection because your brain knows what it's looking for. It knows what it's looking for. And so that's super important. Okay, who is your client? That's where we got to start. Do you know them? Do you care? Or do you just want their money? Who is your client? Sometimes people start businesses just because they want money. And that will get you so far. And then you'll realize something's wrong with your business. It's like, oh, you mean I need to care about people? And what's the connecting points between you and them? What's the connecting points? Do you have any? What's the connection between you and them? Like, what is this? And here's some questions to consider. Who is your client? Do you know what they want? Do you know why they struggle? Do you know what they worry about? Do you know what their fears are? Do you know what their emotions are? Do you know how they think? Do you know what their dreams are? Do you know what their goals are? Do you know what motivates them? Do you know what breaks their heart? How well do you know them? Because if you don't have these answers, what happens is you're not tuning into them. You're not tuning into them. And if you don't tune into them, then your subconscious will go, hey, we don't have time for this person. They don't fit. And so then your subconscious is like, yeah, there's no reason for this person to be here, and they're costing us time and energy. Let's just push that person away because there's no connection, details between you and this client. So what do you do? What you need to do is you need to get to know this client. You need to find the connecting points. And these are questions you want to get answers to. Get the answers to these questions. How do you do that, Kirk? Well, you got to start pondering on the questions. Who is this person? It's like, who are they? I don't know. Is it male? Is it female? Are they couples? Is it teenagers? Entrepreneurs? Is it single moms, single dads? Is it, construction companies? Is it pastry companies? I don't know. Who do you want to work with? What is the kind of person you want to work with? And I watch people struggle with this all the time. They're like, I don't know. It's like, well, you better choose. Because if you don't choose, your subconscious will choose and go, hey, we don't have this person. Let's just get rid of them. Because if you don't choose and you leave it as question marks, you got nothing to work with. So your signal is like, we don't know what we're looking for. So now you can't find them. So as long as you leave it in question marks, you're going to end up with zero, nothing. Or maybe you're going to end up working with somebody you really didn't want to work with. And that's even harder because now you have clients you're going, why do I have these clients? These are not the kind of people I wanted to work with. I love them, but oh man, this is not good for me. And so, yeah, leave it to questions. Yeah, you're going to have some reckless experiences. Tell me if this makes sense. In the chat box, tell me, okay, Kirk, this makes sense. I've got to get this decided. Just tell me if this makes sense because If you don't have it in your thoughts, you're not going to have it in your feelings, and you're not going to act this way. You're not going to pursue this person because there's nothing here. There's nothing there. It's not going to happen. Your brain is not going to be turned on to tune in because there's no details. The brain won't turn on and it won't tune in without the details. Are you hearing me on this? You have to hear me on this, because I don't know how many times you're going to have to hear this in your life. You have to give your brain instructions of what you want so it will activate and start searching for what it is that you want. If you want your brain to work for you, if you want it to work for you, you have to give it what you want, because it has a power inside of it to find what you want. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to give you what you think about. It's going to give you what you think about. And what you think about, if it is zero, like if you got nothing, well, then it will give you nothing. So here's the simple truth. You get what you consistently think about, because what you think generates a feeling, and what you think consistently generates a feeling. And these feelings and thoughts come together, which then produce behaviors and also produces a signal. So what you think about sends a signal to attract that to you, which then causes your behavior to go towards that, which then that's why you get what you constantly think about. But if in your head, under the title of client, you got nothing, guess what you get? Nothing. You get nothing. Oh, this could be a game changer this weekend. I'm serious. This weekend, you could turn your brain on right now, right here today. If you start getting some answers to this, like, who do you want? Why do you want them? Who and why? Who do you want? Why do you want them? Why do you want to work with them? But you got to have the who and you got to have the why. Are you writing this down? The who and the why, the who and the why. And if you don't have those, you got zero. And so guess what? Your brain's going to look for zero, and it's going to attract zero. And then therefore you're going to have zero, and you're not going to have one, even though there's 7,800,000,000 people on the planet. That's why you have zero. Is because your brain is working with zero. It's like, it's your head. It's you. So I love marketing. I love people who do marketing. But if you're going to spend money on that without getting your head straight, you are wasting your money. Wasting your money, because it's not going to perform it the way you wished it would. And you're going to be frustrated and think you're not meant for this. And then you're going to talk back to God and then give up on yourself and get miserable and get depressed. And then you might do something really dumb and hurt yourself. And so don't go down that path. Get your head in the game, right? Get your head in the game. And that means get some answers of who you want to work with and why. And the questions, get answers to this. Get answers to this. You know, it's like, so here's about them. Okay, now I'm going to go another level here and just hang tight. Keep your seatbelt on. Okay, we're going to take a hard turn. This is a roller coaster ride, and we're going to take a hard left turn here. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Might even be a loop-de-loop. Okay, so this is questions about them. Questions about them. Now, remember that I'm talking about a connection factor, and these questions are about them. You with me on this? Yeah, you're with me on this, right? So you want to have those answers so your brain will look for them. But wait, there's another half to the equation. Do you have to know more about you? But wait, there's a connection factor. That means you need to know more about them, and you need to know more about you. What? I know this is trippy, but watch this. Watch. So there's questions about them, and there's questions about you. Why would you have to do questions about you? That seems weird. How would answering these questions about you help you get your first client? Let's go back to the picture. Okay, I'm gonna take this arrow, and let me see if I can do this here. Okay, so now this is your arrow, and this is their arrow. Now watch this. This is going to make sense. If you do questions about them, well, then you'll know them better, right? The connection factor goes up. But if you don't know yourself, you actually are not connected. This is connected. Because see this right here? That means like you're the sameys, right? Like sameys. But here's the thing. This is where people mess up in the whole connecting to a client and doing some natural God-given marketing, is that you don't just do questions to understand them. You also do the same questions to answer to understand yourself. Because if you know these answers, you know yourself better, and now you are more clear about who you are. So then you will be able to find the person who's similar to who you are. And that makes a great client, somebody who is on a similar path that you understand how to teach. When somebody's on a similar path, they're like the favorite client. There's just like a thrill to work with. When you have a client that it's way off, you're going to have miscommunication issues. You're not going to feel like you're connected to them. They're going to feel like they're not connected to you. Yeah, you have them as a client, but you're off, or it's off. So I'm just giving you another little inside secret here, which I kind of feel like this is a little too much to share with you, but for those of you who are ready to handle this, here we go. So you answer these questions so you can understand the person and tune your brain into them, but then also you answer the same questions for yourself so that you can tune into yourself. Makes sense. If you want to be in tune, you want to be in tune with both factors, you and them. You and them. Most marketing companies want you to find out, oh, who's this person you want to work with? And then the game is, how do you address their needs? Their needs. How do you address them? What I'm suggesting is not only understand them, but understand yourself. The kind of person you are and what you've gone through and what you feel and what you hope for and what scares you. What are your dreams? Because when you understand yourself and you understand them, now we have the connecting points. Now it's happening. And these connecting points are real. They're not manufactured. They're not just conjured up in some meeting at the boardroom table. This is real, raw life. You know them. And because you know both sides, your brain can tune in. And now that your brain can tune in, it actually knows what it's looking for. That's the magic right there. I can't tell you how amazing this is. And let me just tell you an experience. Let me just walk you through an experience here that I've had numerous times, more times than I could ever count over the last 16 years. So because I know who I'm looking for, I was at the grocery store, right? I'm at the grocery store. I'm standing in the grocery line, and I'm on my phone doing something. And I hear the person in front of me talking to the person in front of them. And they're having this dialogue. They're having this conversation. And my ears picked up on something the guy said. Now, I'm over here like, over here watching fishing videos or replying to texts or something like that. And my ears picked up on a sentence. Now, you know what that means? My senses were sensitive to what this person said. And it picked up on the sentence and it alerted me, hey, this guy would be a great guy to talk to. I was like, what? And I wasn't even paying attention, but because my subconscious was wired and programmed and it knew what it was looking for, my senses were alive and active. I'm standing there on my phone in another world in my head, but my subconscious was still sensing and looking for that next client. My senses picked up on what this person said, and I looked up and I said, wait a minute, what are you guys talking about? And then the two people, they go, oh, well, we're talking about this. And I was like, oh, wow, I can help you with this. I wasn't even paying attention. And my subconscious, because it knew what it was looking for, picked it up because my senses were alive. And then I could engage in the conversation with the people, which then caused them to ask me, hey, what do you do? And then I say, oh, well, this is what I do. And then one of those individuals says, whoa, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, okay, hey, let's talk. Let's schedule a phone call, or hey, I'll come see you, or come see me. And then we schedule an appointment. And then they become a client. That's the real life marketing, is that your senses are alive. Now, when you're in tune like this and you know them and your brain's looking for this, you sit down to write an email, you sit down to write a social media post, guess what? You're more in tune with your audience. You're more in tune with those people because there's a connection between you and them because your subconscious is now fully engaged. It's engaged with this type of person. Because if you don't have this kind of information inside, this kind of dialing in on the inside, who are you talking to? You talking to the world? That's not going to work in an email. You're talking to the whole world in your social media post? That's not going to work. You need to talk to one person. I hope you write this down. One of your problems is you're trying to talk to everybody. And that's not your client. And I don't care what you think. Oh, everybody's going to need this. No, they're not. There's a very specific person who needs it the most. And that's who you want to dial in on, is who is that person who needs it the most and needs it now. That's who you write to in your social media post. That's who you write to in your email. But that comes from a dialing in on who needs this and who needs this the most and who needs this now. And so when you dial your mind in like that, then your social media post or your email or whatever it is you do is more precise in speaking to a particular person. Then when that person reads that email or reads that social media post, they feel a deep connection with you because that was written specifically for them. Now, the opposite is true. If the person's not in tune with that message, the email will make no sense to them. So what you naturally did is you filtered out the people who's not even the right kind of people for you to work with. They're not ready for you. They weren't even looking for you. But because your email is so dialed in on that particular type of person, it filters the people and it finds the people who are the best clients for you, which causes them to take action. Because they feel in the email that you were talking directly to them. You see, most marketing material is general, and you don't know who they're talking to. I have no idea. And you can tell it's a sales pitch. Do you really want to sound like a salesperson? What? Do you want to sound like you're salesy? No. Who wants to sound like they're a salesperson? Don't want to do that. So the way you avoid ever sounding like a salesperson is you sound like a real person. That's the difference, is to sound like a real person talking to a specific person. A person who talks to the whole world or talks to everybody Well, that's a sales pitch. They're just throwing it out there. But see, real connection comes from the conversation between you and a specific person. It's the weirdest thing I've gone through in my entire life, is to bring me down to talking to a particular person. Like I'm talking to one person. And I got to tell you, I'm gonna tell you a secret here, something that most people don't know. Let me show you this. Where's my picture? This picture right here, this picture of this audience, I'm on stage. And guess how many people I'm talking to? One. I'm talking to one person. And that whole 3 days on that particular month, in that particular event, I was speaking to one kind of person. I wasn't talking to all those different kinds. I was speaking to one kind of person. Oh, Kirk, that discriminates people. No, it doesn't. It causes my content, my training, my teaching to go deep because it's personal. If you talk to one person, it's personal. If you talk to a group, it's social. So hear me on this. When you get on social media and you write a post to try to find a person to engage with, talk to one person. Don't talk to the world. Don't talk to the whole social media group of people out there in the world. Don't talk to the general audience, because then you are not personal. And guess what that means? You're just like everybody else. When you're not personal, you're just like everybody else out there. You just mesh in with everybody. If you want to stand out, and I know that's what you want to stand out and be unique, you have to get more personal in talking to one person. It's the weirdest thing. It took my brain so long to figure this out. It's like, oh man, how do you do this? Because I see a bunch of people, right? I see a bunch of people. It's like, I got to look at all of them and I got to talk to all of them. And it's like, no, just talk to the one. Now, Kirk, how do you know which one? Well, you have to pick one. Pick a type of person. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret here. The best kind of person to talk to is a person who is like me. Because then we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common. So if I write these answers out about me and I understand what I want and what I'm afraid of and what I'm scared of, that's the perfect client for me. Because we will have like so much in common. It's like everything we talk about is like, oh, got this. Oh, that makes sense. And we're just in the same vibe. I'm just a little bit ahead of them. But we're so alike. Now that, I don't know, that might have blew a fuse in your head for a second. It's like, what? I'm looking for clients just like me? Yeah, well, I know. It's like, if it didn't land with you, if it didn't connect, it's okay. Maybe you're not ready for this. Maybe you're not ready for this conversation. Because this was trippy for me too. I was like, whoa. The best person for me to find is somebody who has similar dreams, similar fears, similar desires, similar mistakes, similar wants. And it's like, wait a minute, that makes totally sense, because we could be on the same vibe instantly. I just happen to be a little bit further ahead down the road, and I could help them down their journey. I could help them because I'm just a little bit further down the path. But we're so similar. You know, when you meet somebody and you have so much in common, it's like instant friendship, instant connection. Did you hear that word? Instant connection. What? What? Wait a minute. Instant connection? Boom. Boom. you can work with that person so quickly. They can understand you so easily. Boom, 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 boom. And they will progress quickly. That's the success. You see, the weird thing is when people do marketing to find somebody that they're not even connected to, they don't even understand this person. There's no connection points. There's nothing. And so it's like, this just makes sense. It's like, I need to pick a person who is like me. So if I know me, I know who I'm looking for. This might be too much. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so this is what you do. You come up with five. You come up with 5 descriptive points about who you want to work with. You could do 10, you could do 20, you could do 30, you could do 40, you could do 50. But let's just get your first 5. First 5 descriptions of the kind of client you want to work with. That's going to help describe who you want to work with. That now becomes a list on paper, right? It's a list on paper. This list on paper also needs to include why you want to work with them. So who are they and why do you want to work with them? This list then needs to get inside your head. It needs to be put there. Just because you make the list doesn't mean it's in your head. It's kind of like stepping into the first day of school. Just because you have the book doesn't mean the information's in your head. So what does that mean? Well, you need to open the book and you need to study the topic, right? And then you start to learn the topic. So the same thing here. Each day, you review your client description. And every time you review it, it puts it into your thinker. And it layers that into your thinker. That's what it's going to do. It's going to layer it. Every day is another layer. And you want to layer this day after day after day after day, week after week after week, until it becomes thick, very thick and juicy in your head, who this person is. Every time you layer it, the signal gets stronger of who to attract to you, and it also wakes up your senses of what to look for. So there's 2 things that's going to happen. You're going to have the attraction factor happen, and you're going to have your senses come alive. Every layer you add to your mind is going to increase that ability. So if you only do it 5 times, you only have 5 power, level 5 power. You do it 20 times, you have level 20 power. You do it 100 times, you have level 100 power. You do it 1,000 times, you're going to have 1,000 level power. It makes sense. The more you layer it, the stronger it gets. And you can train your brain what to look for, who to look for. And so all of your senses come alive and you can hear it, sense it, feel it everywhere you go. Your brain will find them. It will, because your brain is built to find what you consistently think about. And so the plan here is to get this information in your head. That means you need to do the list so that you have the list and so that you can get it in your head. Tell me if this makes sense. Does this make sense? So with this experience, what you're doing is you are pre-programming your mind to actually work for you. Because if it's not programmed for you, there's only another side. It's going to be against you. It's going to push people away. What? This totally makes sense. And if I sat down at your kitchen table, right, and we're going to have our breakfast smoothies together, and you're like, Kirk, I can't find my first client, I would be drawing this out on paper with you. We would be writing up your client list, and we would go way beyond 5. And there's lots of details that I would pull into it to help really fine tune this description. When my brain is on fire with this description, I find these people everywhere. They're all over the place. They're all over the world. But when my brain's not on this, it just wanders around in circles. And it's like a lost little puppy just wandering around, tail between its legs. I can't figure out what to do. And it's so true. I've been on both ends of the experience of this, of having my brain activated with this, and I've had my brain not activated with this. And when it's not activated, it is terrible. 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 So yeah, your friend that's an entrepreneur who is struggling finding their next 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30 clients, and they're like, oh, I can't find it. It must be the market. You need to set them down and go, no, it's your head. No, it's just the market. No, no, it's your head. You've lost the clarity on who you're looking for. Now, here's the cool part. In a month from now, you might want to update this client description. You may want to do that because you're going to learn more of what you want. So there's going to be updates along the way, which I love this. But for where you're at right now, to get you started so you can start to activate your mind, just start with 5. Start with 5 and also start with those questions. Who are they? This will help a ton. Now, of course, there's more than 5 here on this particular screenshot. Okay, so I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gave you 10. All right, so go for 10. Go for 10. Be able to describe that. Now remember, just because you put it on paper doesn't mean it's in your head. Remember, your head is empty. It has nothing in there. Now, if we had time, I could work through helping you with all the anger that you have. Yeah, did I just throw that out on the table? Yeah, I did. If we had time, I would talk to you about your anger. Because what happens is when you have anger inside of you, it throws a glitch into everything. It really messes stuff up because when you have anger on your heart, you can rev up your brain to get dialed in on the client, but then your heart says, don't let them get close. Don't. They're just going to hurt us. You see this big red blotch on the heart? That's a hurt. And when you're hurt, you get angry. Your anger's connected to hurt. And yeah, you've been hurt. But you just need to know this. You need to know this, that you're going to get this client list on your mind. You're going to get it on your mind, and it's going to be there. And you're going to be like, but Kirk, it's not working. So I need to give you I need to just bring this up. I don't have time to teach you this whole thing. But if you get the client list on your mind, that'll start to activate your mind. But your mind will check in with your heart and go, hey, you in on this? And if your heart goes, no, there's people who have hurt us. And I don't like people because they hurt me. And so that's the next part that you would need to work on, is to work on the hurt. Now, I know you're going to say you got thick skin and you're tough, and your mom and dad told you, and taught you how to just be really super tough and not let people, do stuff like this to you. But look at your results. Look at your results. If you can't get your numbers to move and you can't find those clients, but you have a client list on your mind, the brain checks in with the heart to say, hey, you in on this? I need some passion from you. And if your heart goes, no, we're out. We don't want people in our life because they're just going to hurt us again. Then you're going to find it slow down. You're going to feel it like move along very slowly. You need to know this, though, that this is going to happen, because I'm not going to just let you hang there and go, oh, yeah, this is going to fix everything. That's the first step. But the second step is you got to work on your heart because of all the hurt and the anger that's in there. And believe me, I know you're hurt and I know you're angry. You do a good job of covering it up. You do a good job of hiding it, but you got to know it's going to affect your results. And you can push forward and you can get clients, but you're going to feel how hard it is to make things work. And it will work, because once you get your brain active, it's going to work, but you're going to feel like you're dragging this big, heavy boulder behind you as you're making progress. So if you happen to feel that and you go to like curse me for something and go, oh, well, Kirk, this doesn't work. Kirk said it'd work. I'm telling you, there's other parts to this that you have to address. Today's training is not about clearing the hurt. It's about how to find that first client. And we need to activate your brain so that you have a chance, and you can add clients. But if it feels like you're dragging something heavy, that's what you're dragging, is the hurt still there. And one day you'll have to address this if you want to free up yourself to get yourself moving. Because this is what I do. This is exactly what I do. Every week of my whole entire life, I train entrepreneurs how to be better at what they do. So in my mastermind, I teach people all the time how to clear the hurt, how to activate their mind, because ultimately it's what you do. What's ever on your mind and whatever's going on in your heart is ultimately what you finally do. And I'm teaching this, just so you know, I'm teaching this every single week. Every single week on Monday, I'm doing real live, up-to-date, modern training for entrepreneurs who are coaches, facilitators, mentors, teachers, counselors. I'm teaching them how to get themselves organized on the inside so that they can have a large audience and they can make a big impact. So I'm doing this all the time, every week. So if you're like, oh, well, Kirk only teaches this class once every 2 weeks at this free webinar, I've got huge training going on throughout the week and big time every Monday morning at 7 a.m. in my mastermind for 2 hours. We're going through this in so many different levels because I struggled when I started. I struggled. I didn't know about this. I didn't know about having a client list. Sheesh, I'm going to get all emotional about this because it was hard. It was hard. I didn't know about my hurts. I didn't know I had to program my brain. Man, I spent years. I spent years struggling, trying to figure out what's my deal. I wanted to quit hundreds and hundreds of times. But I'm like, God inspired me to go help people. And I swear he picked the wrong person. I'm like, man, the God I believe in, maybe he's messed up. Maybe I got an email from God that was not supposed to be sent to me. I was wondering because I'm like, I can't find people. And I don't want to be around people. They're mean. And maybe this isn't you. Maybe it's not you. But this is me. When I started, God said, hey, you need to go help people. I was like, wait, I already have a job. Well, you need to leave your job and you need to go do this. What? I have insurance with this job. No, you need to leave. I was like, oh, man, this is a game changer. And I told Kim, hey, I got to leave. And she's like, wait, we have insurance. You have good pay. You get vacation. You're going to leave? And I'm like, I'm supposed to. I feel a calling. She goes, to do what? I don't know. I'm supposed to help people. She's like, what do you mean? I don't know. I don't know what this looks like. I didn't know about this, about client, details. I didn't know I had hurt on my heart. All I knew is it was hard, difficult. And I kept praying to God and saying, hey, you picked the wrong person. He's like, no, it's you. No, it's not. I think you got the wrong planet, wrong Kirk Duncan. Go look at another planet. He's like, no, it's you. And I'm like, what? How am I supposed to do this? And he's like, you'll figure it out. I'll show you. Oh, man. The last 16 years, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot how this works. And people tell me all the time, oh, you're lucky. You're just lucky you're born this way. No, I was not born this way. I was a mess when I started. A real big mess. But I can't let other people take that long. I took way too long. It took me about 5 years to get myself starting to get into order. It was painful 5 years, a lot of issues. But now I know a lot. And I ask God all the time, what do you want me to do with this? He goes, you need to help the next person. I'm like, what do you mean? You're going to help them, teach them. Teach them what I taught you. Show them what you know how to do. Help them find the people that they're meant to teach, that they've promised to teach. They have this spiritual agreement with them that they need to find these people and teach them. And they're not moving, Kirk. Help them. I'm like, oh my goodness. You want me to teach them what the junk I went through? He's like, yeah, do it. I'm like, all right. I'll teach them. I hope they're ready. And he goes, no, don't worry about it. There's just a select few who I'm calling to the work to help people. And I realized that not everybody's called to this kind of work. It's not how it works. There's just a few people out there, a few percentage of people out there who really are designed to be a teacher. And it takes a very unique individual to stand up, to put their voice out there, to, even though they don't have anything, to start, to get started. And I didn't have anybody to lean on. I didn't have anybody to turn to when I started. And that was super tough. I was just like, I literally was alone in my own little room, in my own little desk by myself, trying to figure this stuff out. And that's why it took me so long, is because I kept trying to do it by myself. And that's not how it's supposed to be. The world has sped up. That was 16 years ago, right? Well, it was actually 11 years ago. But now the world has sped up and the issues on the planet are speeding up in such a big way. We're blasted with issues every day that we've never faced before that are huge. And so the speed in which a person is to get themselves activated as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, the time frame has got to be shorter. You don't have 5 years to figure this out. The do-it-yourself time zone is getting shattered. The time right now is to find somebody, learn from somebody, boom, 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 get active, get going, make this happen. Quit taking so long. There's people hurting. I don't know if you feel the urgency. Do you feel the urgency? Do you feel the world like pushing forward at a pace of like, wow, there is all kinds of issues and problems that are happening so fast that us as the teachers, we don't have time to just kick back and take a year-long program and, maybe next year, next summer, I'll get started. It used to be that people would, I'll put it off till the spring of next year. And now it's like, you don't even know what next year's going to look like. So I notice that there are certain people who are being prompted or inspired to help, but they have no content, they have no clients, or maybe they have some clients and they have some content and they know they got to teach and help in some way. And so that's why I'm putting myself out there. I'm sticking my neck out there to say, hey, I'll help you. if you want help. I can help you. And here's what I do. I do this mastermind. And if you get in my mastermind, I will teach you how to become a life coach, and I will give you content, and I will help you get your brain dialed in, and I will help you clear your heart. Because if we could clear your heart, watch. If we could clear your heart, if we could clear your heart and activate your mind, excuse me, if we could clear your heart and activate your mind, what's going to happen? You're going to find the people. And that's what it's about. Find the people who need the help. But it's a head game, right? It's for you. So what you're going to do to get started on your do-it-yourself journey, and then if you want additional training and higher level understanding quickly, so you're not dragging it out, you may want to consider looking into my mastermind. You might want to look into it and get some details on it as an option. It would be a great option to be able to help you speed up your process of learning, of getting organized, of really taking action on what you're being prompted to do. Because I know there's different areas you're stuck and you're still trying to figure it out by yourself. And you will, I just don't know if you're going to have time to figure it out by yourself. I don't know. You have to judge that one. But yeah, so in the meantime, here's your do-it-yourself move, because that's why you're here. You want to get something that you can do it yourself. The do-it-yourself list is to create the list of who do you want to work with and why. Then you take that list and you review that list every day to get it in your head, because it's not there. Do not assume just because you organized it that something happened. Nothing happens until your subconscious begins to accept it. Just because it's on paper, nothing's going to happen. That was just the pre-organization of it. Pre-organization. Now the work is get it in your head through repetition, which means every day, look at the list and go, okay, this is the client I want. Read the list out loud. Create a vibration with your voice so your body can feel the vibration of the words that you're saying. Read it out loud. This is the kind of client I want, and here's my reasons, and here's the details, and here's why. And use your voice so it creates a vibration to change your body and to tune your whole being together that this is who you're looking for. So you say this list out loud every day, create a vibration so your body will tune into that vibration so it can send the vibe of what you do. And your senses can sense the vibe of another person who fits that description. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe. And so you use your vibration of your voice to create the harmony and the alignment with your body, and it dials in your brain, boom. And then it starts to send it out. Then you start to sense and feel and see where these people are. And then it's time for a conversation to engage with them and to share with them a sample of what it is that you do, which they're already going to be interested because they're already dialed into your vibe, which makes the conversation nice and easy and simple because they're just like you. It's not hard when they're just like you. And again, one more time, if you feel like you're still dragging a big boulder behind you and it feels like you're taking a long time, you have hurt on your heart. If you don't know how to get that off, well, I could help you with that. But if you really want to get into all of this and do a great work in a short amount of time, again, I'm going to say my mastermind is awesome. It's so awesome. It is so dialed in. Oh, it's the best program I've ever created in 16 years. The best. Super excited about it. It's tough, though. I got to tell you, it's tough. It's not easy because, man, it's gonna put you in alignment and it's gonna get you active, and it's tough because changing is tough. It takes some time and some energy, but man, it's so good. Best program I've ever created. Out of the 84 programs I've created. It's the best program. Best program. Oh, sorry, 74. Where did I get 84? 74 programs. 74 programs. This is my most favorite program I've ever created. Love it. Love it. Okay, so you get the description. I'm going to put in front of you the questions one more time. Grab a screenshot. Get a picture. Get it. Good. Then it's the exact same questions for yourself. Exact same questions. Good? Sweet. Okay. Let me go back to our 3. Okay, so to define your client, live intentionally means every day you wake up, you believe there's a client to be found. Every day. And you tell your brain every day, okay, we're going to find the client that we're to find today. They're somewhere. Intentionally means you're training your brain to be on point. See, your brain is still a child. It still has a lot of room for development. And you need to be in charge of putting your brain on point every single morning by giving it an intention for the day. And so the intention each day is, where is the next client? Let's find them. And you expect that your brain's going to use all of its senses and all of its wisdom and all of its subconscious programming to be able to find that next client. So to live intentionally, put your brain on point every single morning. And as you do this from day to day, it's going to cause your brain to fine tune that it knows what you want. It knows what you're looking for. Then number 3, as you go to engage with people, calm down. If you're actually in a conversation with somebody and starting to head in the direction about your content, your product, your service, is because it's a natural fit. It's okay to bring up what you do and take it nice and slow with the conversation. Don't be pushy. You don't need to push your product. That shows desperation. You don't need to push it. You mention it. And if they're ready, they ask questions. If they're not ready, they don't ask questions. But you mention it. You don't push it. You mention it. I love this because a guy like me, I'm not kidding. A guy like me has had these kind of experiences where I didn't know how to do this, but I dialed my brain in, and then all these things have happened because of what I'm teaching you here. And of course, there's more steps to this. I can't teach you all of it, but this is where I started, and that's what I promised you. It's how to find the first client, and I gave you exactly what to do. But you'll find yourself sticking with it if you dial in your brain. You'll find yourself creating programs. You'll find yourself teaching audiences. You'll find yourself creating videos and audios and hours of experience. You'll find yourself giving scholarships away, which I'm going to be doing here in just a moment. I'm going to give a 2-hour mentoring appointment scholarship away. Anybody want it? If you want it, say it in the chat. Say it in the chat because you're still here. I told you I'd save it to the end, right? So if you want to have these things happen to you, get your head dialed in. If you want help in how to do this, if you want to get trained, then what you want to consider is my mastermind. That's what you want to consider. And why do this? Why would you even look into? See, the first step is just to look into it. There's nothing for sale right now with this mastermind. I'm not trying to sell you on this at all. It's like it's a curiosity piece to go, hey, if you're interested in having training and you're feeling the urgency to get moving, then look into this. And when I say look into this, what I actually mean is go to this link. Go to this link and book a call. You're like going to schedule a call to talk to either Wayne or Cody, and it will pick one of those two. And those two gentlemen are members of my team, and they are the nicest guys ever, the best dads ever. I mean, seriously, they are like the coolest dads. And they are there to tell you and share with you about the mastermind. give you all the details. What is this thing that I'm doing every week to empower entrepreneurs and to empower people to use their gifts and talents to make a difference, right? And so if you go to this link and you book or schedule a call, it'll be about a 30-minute call, and they will give you all the information about the mastermind. And then you can take that information and make a decision. Now, to help you with that, so like this is easy, over on the side of your screen, I just popped up a button that you can click right now to get one of the next available appointments. Because there's only a certain number of appointments that we have, and then we go a long ways before we have another set of appointments. But if I were you, with the type of what's going on in the world right now, check into this mastermind, because we still have a few scholarships that we could apply to this mastermind. This last week, we had a certain number of scholarships that a person could use to apply to the tuition of the mastermind, and we have a few left. So seriously, there was a great response from people last week, and just these incredible people have joined the mastermind just this last week, and which I'm super tickled. I mean, they're like brand new in it, and they're gonna love it. Oh man, they're gonna love it. It's gonna work them, but they know it. They know it, and they're super amped about stepping into this because they don't want to fall behind. They don't want to fall behind because of hesitation. They didn't hesitate. They're just like, okay, I got to do this. And they booked their own call, scheduled their own appointment. And they either talked to Wayne or Cody, which are great guys, and got the information. And then with that information, they made a decision. Some of them, they had to, sleep on it overnight. And then they called us back the next day and they're like, okay, I'm in. And some people, they got it, the information, like, you know what? This isn't the right timing. And it's like, cool. And it's okay, because we're not here to like put it on people, because we know what our purpose is. We're here to train people for the people who want it. We're not gonna sell this to somebody who doesn't want it. You have to want it. Because halfway through the program, I'm not going to babysit you and have to push you. If you want to excel, if you want to move your skills up, if you want to do better, then you would be looking for training that will move you. That's what you'd be doing right now, because the do-it-yourselfer timeline is way too slow. It's way too slow, and you're going to fall behind with the do-it-yourself trail. Get on this huge journey with the rest of us and collaborate with all of us. You see, that's the cool part about this mastermind, is you're not doing it by yourself. You know what happens when you do things by yourself? You mess it up. You mess it up when you do it by yourself, because you self-sabotage and you don't even know it. Part of being in the mastermind is to get you past where you normally sabotage yourself, or you normally do it. In the mastermind, it's going to happen way less, because you're going to be part of a movement to change people's lives. And you got these people around you who are going to help you see where the sabotage could happen, so you don't do it. Self-sabotage has cost you so much money and so much time, and has cost you so much sanity. If we could get you past your self-sabotage, right? So yeah, like I was saying, last week, we just had a big group of people jump into the mastermind. They're part of the mastermind. Super excited to work with them. And they're quickly finding out, like, whoa, this is a moving program. Now, so what you do, if you're interested and you want to find out the details, click the button over on the right-hand side of your screen that says click here to book a call. It'll take you to a calendar. Choose a day, choose a time, talk to Wayne, talk to Cody, get all the details, Then if you need to pray, go pray. If you need to meditate on it, go meditate. If you need a time to kind of think about it, then think about it. Then you immediately get back to us about if you want to do it or not. And then let's get you started. But this is if you're interested. So that's why this is so nice and gentle, is to get on a call and get the information. That way you're having a one-on-one conversation and you can clarify the details. That way, when they give you the details, you can ask questions and you can get really super clear on the details and what's expected and what your part is. And that way your decision will be very clear if you're out or if you're in. That's why I do it this way for those people who are looking for a coach. They're looking for a mentor. They're looking for a training program that will address the real things of life to move them forward. I do it this way as a one-on-one conversation so you can clarify the details. Because to me, it matters that up front, you know exactly what you're getting. That way, your decision is going to be really solid. And that way, you will be really committed to changing your performance, upgrading your behavior, upgrading your results. And that's what I love about this program. The number of people who quit in this program is next to nothing. That's why this is one of the best programs I've ever created, is because we have such high commitment. And I really believe it's because they had a conversation with one of my team members up front and they got super clear how it works. So it made it easy to decide if it's for them or not. And if it's for them, boom, they are in. It's just so cool. I love hanging around people who think at a higher level and be part of my mastermind. Get in here. Get in here. Let's do this and let's move. It's like it's already getting towards the end of the year and the next year is coming around the corner. It's like, man, we got to get going. We got to find these people. We got to help these people and wake these other people up to their greatness. I mean, I've been doing this for 16 years. I'm going to do this till the day I die. This is my calling. Have you found yours? Have you found yours? If not, I can help you with that. So the program is very organized. The mastermind membership is for 18 weeks. That's a good experience. 4.5 months. It's plenty of time to change bad habits. Plenty of time to upgrade your performance. Plenty of time. So much can happen in 4.5 months. It's so awesome. It is so awesome. And I got to tell you, there's all kinds of cool experiences that are happening. I mean, seriously cool experiences. Like Vicky, I don't know if you know Vicky, but she is a sweetheart. Oh, she's a sweetheart. And she just excelled with what I trained her on and how I helped her. She's already brilliant. I was just honored to be part of her life, to be able to be part of this. I mean, you tell me, do you want 68 students in your 12-week mentoring program? Do you want to finish your book? Do you want to do podcasts? Do you want to be a guest speaker? Do you want to be that? Like, go out there and really teach people? I mean, that's awesome, right? Like, wow, she's like living her life purpose, right? So cool. What a great example. Fantastic. And there's cool things that can happen for you. Some of these pictures, sorry, they're a little fuzzy when I took a screenshot. I'll get better at that, about how to do that. If you want to earn while you do what you love, check this out. I just tracked my March income. I've made $10,000 or more in income for the last 3 months in a row. I don't know about you, but these are some cool results here. Getting booked to speak, the sales that can happen. I mean, this could be an incredible journey, not only for the people you teach, but also for you. It's okay to have transactions for what you share with people. And if you don't know how to do that, I can teach you how to do that. So Kelly Walker, I mean, she just lit up. She is such a doll. And she just lit up. She's like, I got this, Kirk. I got this. And she started taking on what she already knew. And again, it's an honor to work with her, just an honor to share with her. And of course, she takes on what I'm sharing with her on top of what she already knows. And boom, just sent her up to a next level. And I got to tell you, I don't claim that success. I honor her that she applied everything that she had been learning in your life. I was just so glad to be part of it, to be able to help support her. And I want to do the same thing for you. So what do? Go over here to the side of the screen, wherever that button is, and click that button and consider it you're interested, and then get the information and then make a decision. We'd love to work with you. Super cool. Kim and I are fully dedicated in helping others because we struggled way too long, and you don't need to do that. Yeah, you don't need to do that. Cool, huh? So fun. I'm going to say this though. I do this for you. I do this webinar for you, but I do it for my grandkids because I know what I put out there is going to come back. So hopefully by me serving you today, somebody will be there for my grandkids if they need help. Maybe that's kind of selfish, or maybe that's kind of like hopeful. Let me just call it hopeful. I figure if I could help you today, somebody will help my grandson as he grows up. You know what I mean? It's like we all help each other, right? I'll do my part, you do your part, and we hope that we help each other's families out, and we help each other's kids out. We help each other's moms, we help each other's dads. But I love my grandkids, and man, they're going to grow up, and I hope that they meet cool people like you, and in probably some strange kind of way, you'll help them. And it's just that whole big cycle of life, right? We help each other and we pull together. That part I think is super cool. So I'm just going to put that out there. Help somebody, reach out, serve, help. People need help these days. They need help and help them feel like they're not alone. So get your head dialed in. Get your head dialed in. Where's my screenshot? So I can go back to this one more time. Get this set up. This is real. This is not just a cute idea I threw together. This is a big game changer for you. And get it started, right? Okay, get it started. And then also, I'm going to just stick this up there one more time. Just if you are interested, there's no harm, there's no cost in checking out the details. So talk to Wayne Cody, get the details, make your decision. And if I were you, jump into the mastermind because I can take you on a deeper dive. And I'll tell you right now, the two things I'm going to focus on the most with you in the mastermind: get your head dialed in and get your heart clear. Boy, we open up your heart and we dial in your mind, boom, your senses become more in tune. Head dialed in, heart clear, your senses come alive, and you are more in tune to where to be, to what to do, to what to say. And that's a good feeling. It's really a good feeling to feel in tune. Oh, so good. So good. So if you want help with that, boom, click the button, schedule a call. Enjoy talking to Cody and Wayne. Okay, so I'm going to give a mentoring appointment away right now. Okay, I'm going to go on here. And so one last call. If the person who said, hey, I want it, and then they fell off and they jumped off, I know I'm 16 minutes over. I get it. But for those of you who are still here, I want you to go into the chat box right now and tell me you want the appointment with me. Just say, Kirk, I want the appointment. Okay, I see people saying, pick me. That's not what I said. I said you have to type, I want this appointment. That's what you have to type. I want this appointment. Okay, some of you are still not typing it. There we go. Who was that? Who was that? So I want this appointment. Okay, that's the words. I'm also noticing who follows instructions and who doesn't follow instructions. Okay, so I'm watching. Okay, so all right, there we go. I want this appointment. There we go. Okay, some of you still didn't type that, and you're not gonna get in the list here of getting picked. I'm not gonna pick somebody who types something else. That's like the only requirement is two requirements. Be here and type what I said. I want this appointment. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna hit my scroll bar and it's gonna scroll, and then I'm gonna reach up and I'm gonna touch my screen. It's gonna be that random. And seriously, I am closing my eyes. I'm not gonna, okay, wait, I got a hand-eye coordination here. Now, this is a 2-hour appointment that we'll book, and we're going to do it across Zoom. It's not a live appointment like in person. It is a live appointment, but it's not in person. But we'll do it through video conferencing, and we'll use Zoom as a platform. So you can live anywhere in the world for this appointment. But I do have only certain appointments that are open. So you're going to have to pick one of those, and you'll have to adjust your schedule, and that's it. I have a certain number of appointments. You're going to have to pick from that, and you're going to have to adjust. I can't go beyond what appointments I have that are open next week. Okay, so I hope it works for you. Okay, here we go. I've never done this before. I've never given away an appointment before. This is so stinking fun. And don't worry. In the appointment, we're going to talk about what you want to talk about, what you want to work on, how I can help you. And I can help you with any area of your life. I'm just excited to do this. Okay. Oh man, I wish I could give all of you an appointment. That'd be so fun. It would be so fun. Okay, here we go. Okay, and you have to have typed the right words of I want this appointment. Okay, here we go. Ready. Stop that. And then I'm going to touch. Okay, the person is Chris Cardinelli. Chris, C-H-R-I-S. And I hope I said your name right. Hold on, I got to get a screenshot of this so I can get your name right here. So, okay, now you got to get on the chat and say, congratulations, Chris. Now you want to validate and you want to praise somebody else's experience because that juices you up so you have a good day too. Don't down on yourself, but Chris got the appointment. Isn't that cool? She just got a 2-hour appointment. So now fill the chat full of good job, Chris. Congratulations, Chris. Just totally pack the chat with congratulations to Chris for getting that appointment. So Chris, I'll send my team will get your contact information, and they will. Well, you already registered for this, so that you had to put your email in. So they're going to reach out to you, let you know when the appointments are, and we'll jump on and have that 2-hour appointment. And so Chris, start thinking ahead of time what it is you want me to help you with, because 2 hours seems like a long time, but it goes by super fast. And don't worry, Chris, we'll record the appointment. So if you can't hear or understand everything I'm teaching you, you can go back and review it over and over and over and over again. Super cool. Okay, there's some really cool people out there who are, oh, you're welcome, Chris. There are some really cool people out there that are saying congratulations. That is a higher way of living. Right there. People who congratulate others. Respectfully, not like, you don't go flatten her tires, don't go toilet paper her car or something like that, but really that something good happened, because you want to teach your brain, hey, something good happened. It can happen to us too. Love that part. So good job for playing high level on that, being able to congratulate her. Okay, you guys, we got to skedaddle. And of course, I'm leaving on the screen an option. There's an option right here in front of you, an open door. of an opportunity of what you can do. And I kind of put it in two categories. There's like two choices. You can stay in your stressed zone and your unknowing zone and uncertainty zone, or you could step into being confident. The more you're in alignment on the inside, the more confident you're going to be. Your challenge is what's going on inside you. So you can choose to stay where you're at, or you could choose to upgrade and have somebody like me teach and train you on how to get these on the inside in alignment. What you think, what you feel, and what you do. And the more in alignment you are, the better you perform. And now that affects results. To me, it's like everything. Alignment. It's about alignment. And so with this open door in front of you for the mastermind, it wouldn't hurt to just find out and to then ponder on those details. Because I really believe there's a reason why you're on this webinar today. And while I'm here is because it's time for us to connect, of course, through this webinar. But what if we connected every single week and we had an intention, we had a plan for you? You would progress, you would change. And I know you're not ready for it and it wasn't in your plans, but follow your inner voice if it's time to step up to who you're meant to be with your life purpose. I'm very, very grateful that I have found my life purpose. And I'm very grateful that I'm living my life purpose. This is what it's about. It's before you die, you totally step into what you're designed to do. And I believe you're meant to be a teacher of others to move them. And you know it too. You know it too. And you've watched me for this last 2 hours and a half. You know if I'm qualified or not to teach you. And I know working on your heart and your mind, it's tough. And it's like, maybe you don't want to go there. Maybe you think you can never be fixed. I felt the same way. I know. But don't worry. I'm here for you. I understand what it's like. I do. I understand what it's like. So yeah, book a call. Get the information. Doesn't hurt anything to do that. Doesn't cost you anything to do that. Okay. All right. So we got to go here and get in the game. Get in there. It's about your connection factor, and it's a head game. Thank you for showing up. I love you, and have a fantastic week, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, everybody.